It's officially October. In America, it's currently fall. Your birthday is coming up, and it's not officially.
It's not fall.
Wait, isn't it? It's spring for
It's
us.
spring.
Yeah.
Yeah.
In New Zealand, it's spring, but overseas, it's
Yeah.
fall right now, right?
That's
Autumn.
right.
And it's officially the start of the spooky season. It's Spooktober.
Not only is it Spooktober, it's also October.
October. That's a good one. But yeah, I've been trying to get into the spooky season a little bit this year. As you can see right now, we're recording right next to a life-sized human skeleton.
Yeah, what's up with that?
Yeah, man. I'm going all in. We're going to decorate this place a little bit.
Can you hear this? That's a skeleton head right there.
Real human skull. Right
It's
next
got
to
some
us.
dirt and maggots on it as well.
Yeah, just disregard those. But yeah, I've been trying to get into the season a little bit this year. I've made myself a little bit of a challenge to try and watch one horror movie every single day in October.
Oh.
And it's been a little difficult so far. I made a list before we got to the month, and I was getting quite ahead of myself with I was like...
Going to be ready every single
yeah,
day.
I'm going to be ready every single day. This movie's a little long, but I'm going to watch it anyway. You know, I'm going to have the time to do so.
Mm-hmm.
And this week's been so hectic that I've been trying to squeeze in 60-minute movies here and there and just finishing it before.
So have you been able to watch all of them so far?
Yeah, I've watched a movie a day for the whole month so far. It's been pretty good. Last night I watched the new Hellraiser reboot.
Okay.
And Hellraiser's a bit of a funny one because it's kind of a joke between our family because our mum was kind of traumatized by watching it when she was younger.
She went over to a friend's house for a birthday party when she was super young.
Yeah.
And they popped on Hellraiser.
And apparently the story goes is she just didn't look at it the whole time. She avoided her gaze from the screen because there was just some horrific stuff happening.
But Mum, if you're out there, we know the truth.
We know you watched Hellraiser, Mum.
I've looked inside your closet. I've seen all of the Hellraiser merch you've hidden away from us.
So I've kind of over the past couple of years, I've watched through the Hellraiser franchise just as a complete joke. Just because they're all terrible. I don't really like any of them. And so I was like, I might as well watch the new one. I've seen everything up until this point. But genuinely, I really, really enjoyed it. Watched that last night. I thought it was a really clever take on the original kind of story from the original movie.
As a Hellraiser noob,
yeah,
what's clever about this newest one?
What was interesting about this one, and I really loved about the originals, is there's a whole lot of artifacts, otherworldly artifacts. There's the lament configuration.
Whoa.
This golden puzzle box that you need to solve, and then beings from another world come through to this world. And
so it's kind of like the Yu-Gi-Oh! Rubik's Cube style thing.
Yeah, but instead of...
Ark of the Covenant.
Yeah. It's quite similar to the Ark of the Covenant as it's bad when you do open it up and demons from another world come and kind of rip your flesh apart.
Nobody wants that.
No. But I just really liked how much this one delved into the lore of this world and these artifacts and who these beings are that come from different places and times. I'm a sucker for just weird surreal stories and monsters, and I liked it. What have you been doing to get into October? That's where I was going with this whole thing. I was wondering if your October has been as spooky as mine so far. We just watched Space Amoeba, which I guess is...
That's the spookiest thing I've done. No. I've been horrendous. Jaysha, I'm sorry. I don't think I've legitimately done one spooky thing all month so far.
Dude, you have to do it.
What should I do? I've got my notepad out here.
All right. You're going to stop dusting the cobwebs out of the corners of your room.
Oh, I don't do that already.
Oh, okay. Well, there you go.
That's what I've done. That's been going on for a good few months already.
No, you should check out another thing that dropped recently was Werewolf by Night.
Okay. I haven't seen this yet.
Yeah.
I'm excited to.
The new Marvel special presentation on Disney+.
It's called Werewolf by Night because it's about a werewolf, I presume.
Well, Werewolf by Night's a Marvel character.
Yeah. Well, werewolves, who cares if they're kaiju? Up for debate.
They're kaijin.
They're kaijin.
Yeah.
Sure. But there is a kaiju in it.
I guess so.
Yeah. Man thing. I've never... So he's a swamp creature.
Yep.
A big, hulking, gross thing, for lack of a better term.
Yeah, it's a man
thing.
Yeah.
And I believe his power is that anybody who fears anything, if they touch him, they die?
He who knows fear burns at the man-thing's touch.
Ooh, that's a good kaiju power.
Yeah. You should check it out, though. I had
Will do.
low hopes of Werewolf by Night with everything else Marvel's been doing recently, but between that and seeing Daredevil and She-Hulk earlier this week,
Good stuff,
it's been good.
Daredevil?
Daredevil.
Devil?
Devil.
October?
Spooky? A little bit, yeah, I was circling back around to the spookiness. But, yeah, Space Amoeba. This giant squid.
Speaking of October and
Yeah.
Halloween.
Let's get into it.
I think as well as Podzilla, we might just also need another movie podcast so we can talk about any other movies.
I think you're right.
I mean, that's kind of what our Patreon, the official Podzilla Patreon, is doing.
Yeah, guys, we have a Patreon, which you've probably heard us talk about before, but next week we are dropping a new episode over there, Son of Kong, the sequel to King Kong.
Spooky as well.
Yeah, I guess it's spooky. It's kind of still within our wheelhouse. It's still kaijus, but
We might do a Spooky November episode.
yeah, let's
Spooky November.
let's maybe do that. But yeah, welcome back to Podzilla, everyone. That's Micah.
Hey, I'm Micah. And look who this is right in front of me. Jasha Drake.
Hey guys, I'm Jasha, and every bi-week we talk about the weird and wonderful world of Godzilla and Godzilla-adjacent movies.
Godzilla and friends.
Godzilla and friends, anything that might fit in this weird world of kaiju and kaijin. But yeah, this episode, we watched a little movie called Space Amoeba from 1970, directed by Shiro Honda. We've been on a roll with Honda recently. And this was an interesting one. I had never really knew anything about Space Amoeba. I'd always seen that there was a giant, like, bluish squid.
That's all I knew about it.
That's all you knew as well?
I thought that was the space amoeba.
Yeah, same.
I was wrong.
Same. That's what I thought too. But it's crazy because, like, the giant blue squid, is his name Gezora? Gezora,
Gizera, I think.
Gezora. He seems to, he pops up everywhere.
Does he?
That Godzilla mobile game I've talked about plenty of times.
Oh,
he's
I
in
did see
there.
him in that, yeah.
Yeah, and you just randomly, if you look around in enough, like, Godzilla wikis and Reddit posts and stuff, you'll see this guy pop up. So I was very, very interested in checking out Space Amoeba. I'm glad we did. But do you want to take us into it?
A mysterious space amoeba takes control of the unmanned space probe Helios 7 and crashes back down to Earth near a small South Pacific island called Sergio Island. Taro Kudo, an unsuccessful photojournalist, decides to track down the remains of the probe and joins with Ayako Hoshino, who wishes to turn the island into an exotic resort, as well as Dr. Mia, a professor whose goal is to study strange monsters said to dwell on Sergio. En route to the island, the group is also joined by Makoto Obata, a mysterious man introducing himself as a social anthropologist. Almost as soon as the group arrives on the island, monsters start to wreak havoc. They are met with a giant squid named Gezora, then a giant crab called Ganymedes, and finally a giant turtle called Kamebis. Battles are fought, otherworldly life forms are discovered, weddings are performed, and in the end, it's down to the strength of the human soul to save the world. Space Amoeba. Coming soon to theaters near you.
This movie starts with one of the maybe best opening credits of all time, would you say?
Yeah, it was great. Can you give the audience a little taste?
Absolutely amazing, kind of like techno music fades in
Yeah.
as we see a giant squid, a giant crab, and a giant turtle will scurry off to sides of the screen. Red, orange lighting behind them, credits rolling up, freeze frames, freezing when every creature's like mid-movement and
My
blurred.
favorite thing, the freeze frames where the motion blur is so high that it's literally just freezing on a splodge of something. Really gets you into the tone of this movie.
It does. I was vibing though. It was good.
Nah.
But what's funny is after that scene, which is amazing, we start with, like, I swear, the same starting of at least like 5 of the movies we've covered so far. We see a rocket ship ready for takeoff.
No way.
A rocket flying through space.
Yeah.
We get some random voiceover about humankind's wish to head to space, head to the stars.
The probe passing Jupiter.
Yeah.
Sent off to seek information
How
from an
many
unmanned
times-
vessel.
How many times has this happened?
Not even, like, I can count on both my hands the amount of times it's happened in Toho movies alone. I think this is just like a 60s, 70s, 80s trend in general.
Yeah, you're probably right.
But this space probe gets attacked suddenly by the space amoeba.
Yeah.
Now, I thought the space amoeba was Gazora, the squid.
Yeah.
That's not the case. The space amoeba isn't even necessarily a kaiju. It's its own being, an ethereal blue form. A bit like Dagora, actually. The giant alien space squid cell type thingy that we've seen in the past.
Yeah.
But this is more amorphous, like a blob, and it latches onto Helio 7, the vessel, and just takes it for a ride back to Earth.
Now you're right, it did give huge Dagora vibes, and I kind of like, I just love this reoccurring kind of plot in these Toho movies. They have a couple of kaiju versus kaiju movies, but then they always end up coming back to, oh, there's an alien coming to Earth, taking control of monsters. And it's kind of like, this movie is just such a fun mix of some of my favorite parts of the genre and the stuff we've seen so far. We get this random alien plot. We get the tropical South Seas colourful adventure that we've gotten on like Ibra and Son of Godzilla before that I really like, the wackiness of all that. We get some like underwater, water-based fight scenes,
yeah.
a little bit of scary stuff when Gazora first attacks 2 guys.
Throws them all together. It's a nice mix. I do like it.
It's definitely a grab bag of a lot of what we've seen so far, and it's interesting coming from a Shiro Honda. But we'll get into that a little later because there was a bit of behind-the-scenes stuff that kind of made this turn out how it was.
It's like somebody grabbed a fistful of items from the TV Tropes website.
Yeah.
Chucked them all into the movie.
Yeah, you're right.
It's nice. I kind of miss nowadays, because this movie started off by literally the first being that we see is the space amoeba.
Within like the first couple minutes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Modern movies don't really do this nowadays.
No.
I was trying to think back. Any monster movies, any sci-fi movies, majority of them, if an alien pops up or anything, it usually happens as the humans discover it as well.
Yeah, you're right.
They rely a lot on that mystery, that thriller factor. Whereas I love how these movies and Ishiro himself is not afraid to just be like, yep, here's a monster.
This is what's happening.
That's really all you need to know.
Yeah. No, I really like that as well. There's something really like comforting about just kicking things right into gear, starting the plot just straight away as soon as you start watching. Also, the fact that it's like under an hour and a half long. A lot of these movies are just very quick.
They're snappy, eh?
Snappy movies that you don't, even though some things might not be the most engaging, you're never really bored because the plot's just moving so fast that if you're not really engaged in a specific scene, there's something wacky and weird that comes up straight afterwards.
Like we paused for dinner at the end of this movie when we had 17 minutes left, I think it was. And at that point, you don't feel like you're anywhere near the movie finishing.
No. We hadn't even seen like Comobius yet? Is it Comobius? Camebus, the turtle.
Yeah.
We hadn't even seen him yet, and we were like, oh, we have 17 minutes left. And you're right, like it just wraps it up really nicely, as all these movies do.
And fast. Like, Ishiro... Yeah, movies don't do this either nowadays, because there's a trend of movies being like 2.5 hours long. Ishiro's snappy. He knows what he's doing.
Yeah.
He uses his time real wisely.
Yeah, this one is definitely one of the weirder ones of the bunch. As I said before, I really love the fact that it's kind of this colourful island adventure. They head to the island. We get the same thing we've seen a lot of times when they meet the natives of the island. They're all chanting, doing their songs. They're all warning them off. So it had a lot of those tropes we've seen before. But it had some really, really weird stuff. And I was wondering what you thought of one part specifically.
I'm trying to think of what you
when
You're talking about.
one of the natives, I think his name is Rico,
Yep, Rico. I remember him.
he sees Gazora.
Is this the first time they see him? Because there's a few fishermen who see him originally.
Yeah, I think
One
it's
of them
after
gets
that.
eaten.
Yeah, it's a pretty cool scene when that happens. But Rico sees Gazora at some point and he becomes just shocked.
Mhm.
And for majority of the movie, he is just out of it. He's cross-eyed. He's running away from monsters and he's like standing and he can move and it seems like he's all there, but he doesn't talk.
Look, I know where you're headed with this, and I bet you that every person who watched the movie knows where you're headed as well.
And he's just kind of away along for the ride. And right when like monsters are attacking and destroying villages.
Because what happens? No, because right before it happens, the heroes have all gotten a bunch of supplies, gasoline. They've lit Ganymede's the crab on fire.
Yeah.
He's been destroyed.
Yeah.
Runs up behind them. Good old Rico being towed by his
lover?
quotation marks because nobody seems to know.
She says he's...
She says it.
She says she's his lover.
She also says that she wants to have a wedding that night.
And then right in the middle of this huge monster madness, just when they've discovered there's probably aliens involved, they just all have this wedding and she gets married to this guy who's literally paralyzed.
He's still in shock. And not even comedically, they literally state he's in shock.
And everyone's okay
He
with
has
this.
PTSD whenever our hero clicks his camera because the flashlight just scares him so much. She's like, we've decided to get married tonight. And he's just cross-eyed staring off into the distance.
Everyone's okay with having a wedding when there's giant monsters literally going to kill them all at any time. And not even that scene. You said it before, but just when a monster appears and it's coming towards them, they'll be like, "Oh no, what do we do? Look at that! It might be scared of fire. Fire might be able to damage it." Out of nowhere, natives of the island like come out carrying gasoline for them and like, "Oh, here's some gasoline. Oh, here's some guns." Then they use the gasoline and guns on like Gazora when that happens. And then later on, when they're going up against Ganymedes, the crab, the exact same thing happens.
Yeah.
They run out of nowhere and they're like, "Oh, we have a Gatling gun for you. Here you go."
Rifles. Yeah, I don't think the movie explicitly stated it, but I did read the little instruction manual backstory inside the DVD booklet. It said that they were the Deus Ex Machina clan. Yeah, that's a joke, but I'm sorry, guys. No, this is literally Deus Ex Machina incarnate.
Imagine if they actually went out. I wouldn't put it past them to call them that. Apparently, I was doing some
It feels like a Monty Python sketch.
Yeah, it does. And apparently I was doing some reading as well. Gazora literally just means like squid legs. Ganymedes just means like hard shell or crab or something. And same
Okay.
They're all the monsters' names are really literal, like boring names.
Actually, I can get into this a bit because I did a little bit of research.
Did you?
So, officially, 3 kaiju in this movie.
Yeah.
I think what happened is the space amoeba goes into... It comes and it merges its cells with natural animals living on the island.
Yeah.
So, Gazora
Yeah.
is just a normal cuttlefish squid, which is interesting because all of the natives talked about him like he's always been there.
Yeah,
He's
they're
always been
already
this huge
worshipping him and they're already scared of him. You've got a notebook? What is this?
beast. Yeah, I've gotten serious about
Full
podcasting.
Space amoebas like inspired you this much.
Not too much about Gazora, but you mentioned Ganymedes.
Yeah, the
I
giant
still
crab.
don't know how to say his name.
It's such an awkward name. Ganymedes? It's like anime, but Ganymedes?
Yeah, so it's based off the Japanese words kani, which means crab.
Yeah.
Kani, gani, maybe it's Ganymedes, as well as mei, which seems like such a weird little suffix to have.
Yeah.
But get ready to go down this rabbit hole.
Okay.
So kanime, what the Japanese word is kind of inspired Ganymedes by, is inspired by the name of the manga character Nyarame. You familiar with Nyarame?
Not at all, but those names don't even sound
The
similar.
cat human?
Wait. So you're telling me giant crab in a Toho movie is inspired by a cat human.
Kaname, Ganame, Nyarame. They sound similar, right? Who shows up in the manga Extraordinary Ataro, which you've read countless volumes of.
No, I haven't. Wait, Ataro.
You don't know that. You haven't heard of that. What you have heard is Osamatsu-kun, which Nyarame ends up guest starring in multiple times.
Otsumatsu-kun?
I'm going to give you one word, and you'll know what Osamatsu-kun is. You ready?
Yeah.
She.
Wait, he's not the character who does the she pose that they stole from in Invasion of Astro Monster.
It's all linked together, man.
Wait, whoa. You're expecting me to believe they based this crab's name off a cat character?
It doesn't even sound like it.
No. Where did you read this?
My multiple sources.
Okay, your little birds you've got out there in the Godzilla fandom.
Yeah, Gojipedia said it. And you know what they say, trust Gojipedia if you trust nothing else.
Yeah. Most trusted source on kaiju content, Gojipedia.
And while we're on the topic, Kamiba, I didn't realize this as well, but it's based off the Japanese word for turtle, kame, as well as amoeba.
Oh, Kamibus.
Kamiba.
I was doing a little bit of research as well, and Ganame and Kamiba were the crab and turtle's names, but when they were getting talked about in English publications, the Americans added on an S to the end of their names. So forevermore, they've just been known as Ganames and Camobius. I can't even say it, dude.
Kamiba.
Camebus. Ganames and Camebus.
So they've been kind of stuffed over by the American localizers promotional team.
Yeah, so that's what they've been known as, but they're weird. This whole movie is just such a strange trip. What did you think of Kenji Sahara's character?
So he played
Makoto Obata. He played Obata, the self-proclaimed social spy.
Oh. So he's like one of the main four of this movie.
Yeah.
The Quadrio? Yeah, I'm going to call it that.
Quadrio, I like it. He is working for a competing resort to the resort that is looking to make a tourist spot on the island. And I guess he just kind of like sneaks his way into this expedition to try and steal plans and information on the resort they're trying to make on the island.
He's like the mysterious antagonist.
Yeah.
Who's acting as a good guy. He's all right.
He wears a full white suit and hat this whole movie while they're traipsing through a random jungle on an island in the South Seas.
I swear, anytime there's a movie that has a jungle or an island, there's always one character just wearing a full suit.
He tumbles down so many hills in this, and his suit's just spotless every time.
Doesn't Indiana Jones Raiders of the Lost Ark, there's a dude who wears a suit the whole time in that, isn't there?
Balok, yeah, you're right.
Balok?
I think Balok wears a suit. Or Sala wears a suit. Oh, no, you're right. The guy who gets the sign seared into his hand.
That's the one, yeah.
Yeah, I don't know what his name is.
Chuck another TV trope in there.
Yeah.
I liked his range in this, because first off, he's acting, one, as just a dude who's kind of sketchy, but tries to impress the others and act like he's going along with them.
Yeah.
Two, he acts as the evil guy who shows his card. Oh, not really evil, but the guy who's showing his cards. Yeah, I work for the enemy. Okay, you found me.
Yeah.
He gets a little bit more serious after that. Three, he acts as a paralyzed dude.
Yeah, and this part I really loved, because the space amoeba's got control of him. It's kind of like talking to everyone telepathically through his body. And the whole time he's possessed, he's just like, he has these tics. He's moving his eyebrow or his eyes like in real specific moments. And he's really, really committing to it.
There's like a good minute or two scene where he gets taken over by the space amoeba.
Yeah.
Falls on the ground, is laying there. And all we see is this constantly zooming in shot of his face. And his eyebrows just like twitching. And again, when he comes to the rest of the group and starts telepathically communicating with them.
Yeah.
As the space amoeba. And then 4 is just when the Space Amoeba has fully taken over, and he's just acting as a real stiff robotic person, almost.
Yeah. And then 5 is when the Space Amoeba's in control of him, but his real soul is trying to fight the Space Amoeba.
He's fighting back.
And he's kind of playing the Space Amoeba and himself as they're fighting to gain control.
The range.
Kenji Sahara, he's come a
Kenji.
long way since Rodan. I think he's my favorite actor that we've had in this franchise. He just plays really quirky characters every time.
Yeah.
And sometimes he's the hero, sometimes he's the side character, sometimes like this, he's kind of the antagonist, the villain.
Yeah.
I really like him. He's cool.
As well as we have a few other main characters. So we have Taro Kudo. He's kind of our leading man protagonist, a photographer who sees Helio 7 falling from the sky.
Yeah.
And he kind of initiates the adventure, goes to the island because he believes something with the spaceship happened there. He's fun. What do you think of him?
Yeah, I thought it was cool. He's not your kind of generic hero. He's this unsuccessful photographer that kind of no one takes seriously when we see him at his work at the beginning. And he's real, like, kind of shabby looking. His facial hairs, he looks like really unkempt. He's not your typical hero risking himself for everyone. He's kind of just there along for the ride.
He's just another dude.
Yeah, and jumping at the chance to kind of make a buck. He's always talking about, oh, this is going to get me a lot of money if I take this photo. And it's so funny, the scenes when he'll be shooting.
He grabs one of the guns instantly.
He grabs a gun, goes up against Ganymedes, the giant crab, shoots one of his eyes. It like pops and looks amazing.
Yeah.
When Ganymedes' eye gets popped and liquid comes out.
I looked up on the Wikipedia, one of Ganymedes' weaknesses is officially labeled rifles to the eyes.
Rifles to the eyes is a weakness. But he like pops his eye, pops his other eye, does like a quick roll, picks up his camera, takes a shot, takes another shot.
Man, hot off the press of those pictures.
What a photographer.
Also, one of the first scenes we see him in, he's got a great outfit.
Yeah.
One of those, if you love this movie, you'd recognize it, but it's a really stupid outfit, but it's so iconic.
Oh, it's when he has like the hat.
So when he has like the white rolled up hat.
Yeah.
So he has like a jacket and a vest on or something. I want to go to a convention dressed up as him.
Another classic like cosplay for a convention would be to go as the gang that goes to Sergio Island.
Yeah.
You go as him.
One person dressed up in a suit.
Yeah.
We also have our 2 other characters who you can also dress up as. Dr. Kyoichi Mida, played by Yoshio Tsuchiya. He's your classic doctor. He wants to study the natural life on the island.
Somehow understands everything about these beings from space.
He's the
and
smartest dude here.
Yeah.
He's constantly saying like, I figured out what happened. These alien beings are insanely intelligent. Yeah. And like, it has not been established that alien beings are a thing at this point.
Yeah.
Man, and then finally after that, Ayako Hoshino, played by Atsuko Takahashi. I guess I'm not too sure what she was. She was kind of the rep for the resort.
She was like all around good character.
She was the enthusiastic character that this group needed.
Enthusiastic, scared for people when they were in danger, super happy when they were doing all right.
Yeah.
Didn't really have any great moments.
Nah. A lot of charisma, but...
Yeah, she was a great actress. And you're right, a lot of charisma. She was really great screen present, but added nothing much to the story. Should we talk a little bit about the monsters?
Yes.
This is the big thing. First one is Gezora. Or Gezora. I'm going to butcher all these names.
Yeah, I feel like everybody does.
These are weird. But Gezora is just this giant blue cuttlefish. But the way that they've done him in this movie is really, really creative because he's more often than not out of the water, walking around.
It's really smartly done.
Yeah.
Because squids and octopuses aren't new to the Godzilla franchise at all.
Nah.
We've seen...
giant octopus quite a few times.
Yeah, as first off a live creature, live octopus. We have seen some tentacles in later movies.
Yeah.
We have seen one costume thing at one point in Frankenstein Conquers the World.
Yeah, and I'm not even sure if that was a costume or just another puppet.
But it didn't look that great.
No. But this is full-blown kaiju suit. Haruo Nakajima, who usually plays Godzilla, was in the Ghidorah suit for this one. And his feet are disguised as two of the tentacles of Ghidorah, as Ghidorah is walking around on his tentacles.
It's good though, because they're kind of obscured by a lot of other tentacles.
It's actually really creative. And
so it's hard to see. It doesn't look like feet at all.
Yeah, I love the way it looks.
It's great.
Ghidorah in general is really goofy too. He's got two huge, like, yellow and red eyes.
Unblinking eyes.
And apparently the eyeballs were supposed to blink, or were supposed to move, but the mechanism to make them do so broke during filming, and then they never went ahead and repaired them. They didn't want to pay. The Toho did not want to pay to get these things repaired. They did not want to spend the time to get the eyes repaired.
Enough.
And shooting wasn't stopped.
Imagine you're halfway through filming, it breaks. What are you going to do? You'd have to get everybody on another day to start filming again. Nah, smart decision. And we have a few fights with him. First with the fisherman, where he really just grabs him and takes him into the ocean.
Yeah.
One underwater fight.
Yeah, with the professor and the photographer, where they're saved by dolphins.
That's right.
Yeah. Or porpoises.
Porpoises. Yeah.
Are porpoises dolphins?
Hesitant, no.
Okay.
I don't believe so. That's where the characters start to guess that maybe they believe it's this monster, but every monster controlled by the space amoeba is disrupted by echolocation.
Yeah, bats.
Or really high decibel noises.
Bats and porpoises save the day in the end.
Yeah, they do. And then there's one more fight scene with him where he comes onto land, starts destroying the tribe's town
that
they've all made. The leader of the clan kind of starts worshipping and praying to this giant kaiju standing right in front of him.
Awesome scene, yeah. When he's praying, there's this huge blazing fire and like big totem poles between him and Ghidorah. And Ghidorah's kind of just looking down at him.
Framed really well. He stops in his tracks for like a few seconds.
Someone draw that. That's... yeah.
Oh, yeah.
That was awesome.
That's my October art right there.
I think there might have even been a few more scenes, because there's another scene when he attacks a shack early on, one of the surviving fishermen's.
Yeah, that's right.
There's another scene when we don't see him, but he's bubbling up in a cavern and splashes them.
Yeah, and then the big scene where the group ends up pouring gasoline all over the land, lighting it on fire while he's standing in the middle. And then because of that, we see a variation of the suit where it's all scarred and boiled over.
Yeah.
I love that. If you ever made a kaiju fighting game, this would be like a great alternate skin to have.
Yeah, you're right. Yeah, it's funny because Ghidorah is the kaiju who's probably more prominently in this movie. Majority of the film's runtime spent on him, but he never even meets Ganymedes and Amoebas.
I disagree. This is that awesome opening fighting sequence.
When they all they all come from the same
with
spot.
The freeze frame.
The freeze frame.
No, but they never interact with this one never interacts with the other two.
Yeah, you're right. And Ghidorah only makes one more brief cameo in Godzilla Final Wars, I think, with stock footage.
Yeah.
Oh. But he returns properly in Godziban. Look forward to that, the YouTube puppet show. But strangely enough, he's prominently just continued to appear in different forms of kaiju media. A lot of video games, especially older ones for the Nintendo Entertainment System. He's like a real common boss that you would fight in the Godzilla games. He's in a lot of the comics, more notably the Rulers of Earth comic run.
I've heard about that. Yeah,
one of the water monsters. And he's also in novels. Like, I think those Godzilla novels...
We've talked about them before.
Yeah, in Latitude Zero, where the Griffin makes an appearance, Ghidorah makes an appearance as well. So it'll be interesting. I really want to get my hands on some of the comic runs, because I think those would be really fun.
It'd be a nice memorability to have. I haven't seen Final Wars.
Yeah.
But it seems like so many of these movies are connected just because of Final Wars, because of stock footage.
Yeah, well, it's either Final Wars that connects most things, or as we've seen, Godziban. I swear, Godziban has like every single kaiju from any of these movies we've watched so far.
We're gonna watch it, guys. Don't worry.
Cannot wait to sit through like 100+ hours of this kid's show.
You're hearing it right now. This is gonna happen. We're officially creating a sister podcast.
Wait, what?
Podziban.
Oh no. Every Godziban episode by episode.
We've shortened it down to like 20 minutes an ep. Record like 3 at a time. Churn them out.
I hope you're not serious right now. I hope you're not serious. Ganymedes. Giant crab. He was pretty cool.
Yeah, you showed me the poster for this movie in the past when I didn't know what it was. I legitimately thought that this was another appearance of Ibira.
Interesting you thought that.
Not the case.
Yeah, but interesting you thought that because the suit for Ganymedes was modeled by one Nobuyuki Yasumaru, and he was the protege of Toho's chief modeler, Tezuo Toshimitsu.
Oh, so he's like the apprentice become master,
Yeah.
but Ibira's still way better.
Well, Yasumaru took inspiration from Ibra, who his mentor had created 4 years earlier, and in his own words he said, I made Ganymedes with reference to Mr. Toshimitsu's Ibra, because I thought I could make him even better.
Oh, no way.
So Ganymedes is the new and improved
No.
Ibra.
Where's his differently sized claws?
Dude, Ganymedes has like one claw that's kind of shorter than the other one.
No, he doesn't.
Kind of a little bit. Ganymedes has like 5 times the hair that Ibra has.
He's very
Covered in
hairy.
Fur.
Because how would you describe Ganymedes as different from Ibira?
He's definitely more crab-like, whereas Ibra is definitely more lobster-like. Ganymedes' face is a lot more pronounced. You can see his eyes and his mouth moving.
The eyes are super prominent.
A lot
That's
more
what
legs.
a lot more legs.
Yeah.
The eyes are the first thing I noticed when I saw them. They're really... Because what are they? They're like glossy black, but underneath there's like a light shining with a mottled orange color. I don't know how they did it, but the eyes here look so... I want to say lifelike. They just look really cool. That's all I can say. They look really cool.
Well, did Ibra's eyes look lifelike?
I think Ibra just had like red stalks.
So you're officially saying Ganymedes.
Has better eyes.
Okay.
Ibra is still way better. Now, Ibira is a kaiju I can play volleyball with.
You're right. We didn't see any sports-related mischief from Ganymedes.
Oh, we saw some wrestling.
Oh, you're right. We do see wrestling later on with him. But Ganymedes is the only one of these 3 space amoeba monsters to not actually appear in any Godzilla films or TV series.
Does he appear in any of the other kaiju?
None.
Not like Go Godzi...
Nah.
Go Godziban?
Go Godzilla.
Go Godman or Go Green Man or anything?
Nothing. He doesn't appear in anything except for a few video games and a few books.
Yeah, I've written down here, he shows up in one of the Godzilla Rulers of Earth comics.
Oh, yes. Yeah.
As a cave painting.
Oh, so he's not even properly in that.
I think he was gonna be a proper monster, but the comic company forgot to acquire the rights to him. So they're just like, kind of nondescript cave painting. There we go.
Kind of looks like a crab.
Yeah.
Ganymedes, the forgotten kaiju.
He'll make a comeback.
Yeah.
My prediction for one of the upcoming Godzilla movies,
Oh, okay.
these 3 will be back.
Whoa.
Yeah.
It's quite cool because all 3 of them are water-based.
Are they? Squid,
Squid,
kind of
crab,
turtle.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So it'd be quite interesting to see like Godzilla just go up against like Chuck Ibra in there too. Chuck like all the Manda in there, just him going up against all these water monsters.
Have like a Kill Bill style Godzilla fighting all of the champions of the sea.
Has to head up through like a big tower. Each level is another filled with water with another monster. But yeah, the last monster we have here.
Come on, you got it.
Camobus.
No.
Camebus.
Yeah, is it? So I guess it's both Camoeba and Camebus.
Camebus?
Because one's English localized.
Camebus. Giant turtle with a spiky back. First turtle we have covered on the show.
I love it.
Coming out after the Gamera series.
Now, I think it was only a little bit ago that I realized Gamera was a turtle.
Yeah.
So this was made after.
Yeah.
Is it inspired by Gamera at all?
I don't think they look super similar. I think Camobus looks quite unique. I mean, he definitely has his extending neck thing he does, which I don't believe Gamera can do.
extended using compressed air cylinders.
Yeah, and
That's great.
And I read that the suit actor Hiroyoshi Nakamura was in the suit and he would repeatedly get startled every single time the head would extend. It was
Because
like
that would be remote controlled.
remote controlled, and apparently the sound of the air cylinders just like suddenly starting up would give him a huge shock. And that's like one of the only things he remembers from filming this movie. He just has PTSD from the air cylinders.
I'm thinking, Suitmation Trials creator, Amoeba is prime material for you to write a creepypasta about.
Yeah, well, apparently the suit was actually really hard to get into as well. There was a small slit on the suit's belly
because they swapped
climb into.
They swapped from the back
Yeah.
to the front, which looks a lot better.
Yeah, but yeah, definitely it seems like kind of a death trap of a suit to get into.
Yeah.
Even Ganymedes, Haruo Nakajima, who did Gazora as well as Ganymedes, he was a suit actor for both, said that it was so stiff inside he couldn't act or see well at all, and he cannot remember much about the filming. He could only really click the claws.
Just passed out.
So the suits in this seem like crazy.
Oof.
But yeah, Amoebas
Amoebas.
is pretty much our direct link from this movie to Godzilla. Amoebas makes an appearance in an episode of Go Godman, as well as Godzilla Tokyo SOS.
Okay, first off, Go Godman. Does he appear as Amoebas?
Yep, as Amoebas, as an enemy that goes up against Go Godman.
Nice. And Godzilla...
Tokyo SOS.
Is that a movie?
Yep, it's a movie in the Millennium series.
Okay.
That Amoebas returns in. And I believe that in Godzilla Tokyo SOS, there's mention of the whole plot from Space Amoeba as being canon or actually happening in that movie's timeline.
Okay.
So that's going to be interesting when we get to it.
I think I saw something because I looked at his Gojipedia profile.
Yeah.
And for the Millennium, I believe it was a Millennium photo. It was just him washed up on a beach.
Yeah, I'm not sure if that's all that he's in it for or what.
I don't want to see just him as a carcass.
Dead Amoebas?
I want to see some fighting action.
Well, I don't know. I haven't seen many images of him fighting Godzilla, so...
Oh, well.
We'll see what we get. But yeah, he's also in video games, books, the usual.
Classic.
It's pretty cool that Toho does bring pretty much every kaiju back, even if it is in different forms of media.
Yeah.
I really want to... I've still got a Godzilla novel that I've got on my shelf that I need to read.
We'll get you to do a review on it.
Yeah, I will do it.
What do you think of these three kaijus? I want to say three, but technically two, because Gazora dies in the first act.
Yeah.
But Ganymede and Amoebas have a great fight near the end.
Yeah. There's a point in that fight where...
Because what happens, they're controlled by the Space Amoeba.
Yeah. And then bats.
And then Kenji releases the bats.
Yeah.
While he's being controlled by the Space Amoeba and he's fighting it. And the bats suddenly flock to these kaiju.
Yeah.
Somehow. And disrupt the Space Amoeba's control over them. Which turns them into just ginormous feral monsters.
Yeah.
Leading to... Our dad was here for this fight scene. Leading to one of the wildest fight scenes I've seen.
It's a funny fight scene because they start off doing like battling against each other, and there's this pretty cool move that Amoebas does. Amoebas?
You're saying it like Polybius.
I know. There's a pretty cool move that Amoebas does when he extends his neck and kind of hits Ganymedes up on top of him over onto his shell, where Ganymedes like gets hurt from the spikes and then falls off. And there's a little bit of like cool stuff with that, but then it soon devolves into them just like falling over each other down hills, getting hit by random steam vents from the volcano they're fighting on.
Like half of their fighting is really just them getting pummeled by
their surroundings.
Environmental.
They end up pretty much just like killing themselves. I'm pretty sure Amoebas just like kind of rolls off into a volcano, tries to grab onto Ganymedes.
Yeah, what was it? Amoebas extends his neck, grabs onto him. Ganymedes like flips him over into the opening of a volcano, so he's just dangling off. And then Amoebas lets go, but then Ganymedes still falls in.
Ganymedes just randomly like topples over after him.
So who would you say won that battle?
Human souls. The soul.
Yeah.
The collective human soul.
I like it.
Won the battle. Well, who was your favorite out of the three? I think mine was Gazora.
Gezora. Squidman.
It's the giant squid because he just looks so. I love the way his eyes and his tentacles look.
I like him. He's definitely the most recognizable of the group, and a good face to be recurring throughout the Godzilla franchise later on.
Yeah.
I really liked Amoeba for some reason.
Nice.
Like, a giant turtle doesn't really fight too well. Doesn't have too much prowess, power.
Yeah.
He's got an extendable neck. But, I don't know, there's something... Because we haven't had a turtle kaiju before. I just love how unique he is when fighting.
Yeah.
He's got a giant shell. He can take these attacks.
We need to get into Gamera.
I think I'm gonna love Gamera.
Yeah. I think Gamera is in more than one movie and he doesn't die in the next one. So
yes, that's what I'm looking for.
I will briefly just talk about the space amoeba. I mean, you said it before that they kind of, I mean, as the name says, they're kind of this amoeba-like life form that latches on and combines cells with other beings. But they don't make any appearance. I think they're only briefly mentioned in a single comic later down the track.
Huh.
But like a lot of these different Godzilla aliens, they're just one and done.
It has a name, doesn't it?
Yeah, I think they referred to themselves as something at one point. But then there was some weird names. I mean, there's the porpoises. I've never heard of the word porpoise, or I've always thought it's kind of like a platypus seal type.
Okay.
I don't know what I thought a porpoise was.
So you're saying the weirdest name in this movie is a porpoise?
No. I was saying that at one point, Camobus, I was saying at one point, Camebus, the giant turtle, is referred to as like a bat? Or a stegosaur bat? Or something?
Yeah.
There's just some weird...
And then a lizard.
And then, yeah, they just refer to things really weirdly. So I didn't really pay much attention to what the space amoeba was called because it was just all gibberish to me. Should we get into some trivia?
Let's do it.
The big, huge bit of trivia about this movie, and it's, pretty interesting one, is that this is the first kaiju film that Toho produced after the death of their special effects director, Eiji Tsuburaya.
Yes. And
Ashiro Honda, who directed this, really wanted to start this film with a dedication to Tsuburaya, Eiji. But Toho just flat out refused to do so. They didn't want to put his name onto it because he didn't really have anything to do with the film's production.
And come on, Toho.
They didn't really see any need to. So Ashiro was, I think rightfully so, really disappointed by Toho. And so was the special effects director, Sadamasa Irikawa, who took over from Eiji Tsuburaya, did the special effects for this movie. He was disappointed they weren't going to honor Eiji. So Sadamasa Arikawa, the special effects director for this, vowed never to work for Toho ever again.
Ooh.
And Honda, likewise, after this film, because of this mishandling with Toho and them not wanting to honor his friend, decided to retire from filmmaking after this.
So this is his last film?
Yeah, so this is his last film until 1975, where he returns to direct one more Godzilla movie, Terror of Mechagodzilla.
And it's 5 years down the road.
5 years down the road. But this movie marks not only like Ashiro leaving from these movies, it also marks a time when Toho did away with contracts altogether. Like for previous movies, they'd have actors on for a certain amount of movies, and have actors that were on a Toho contract and had to come back.
You could have Kenji Sahara on.
That's why he's in so many of these. That's why specific directors came back. But this was the last movie to be made under their specific studio system. And because Toho was facing declining profits, they took several steps to reduce the power of unions and established a subsidy called Toho Aizo, which would specialize in kaiju films. And they released all their actors from their contracts. They completely dissolved Eiji Tsuburaya's special effects department and just made a whole lot of changes.
Weird.
Changed the way that they made movies. And I think from this point forward, we're just going to see, Ashiro Honda, the original visionary for the Godzilla film, has gone. A lot of the special effects directors that worked under Eiji are all gone. a lot of the actors and actresses will change. We won't see a lot of the same popping back into these. It's just really interesting.
Well, at this point, Toho really has no idea how many Godzilla films they're going to create.
Yeah, that's it, eh?
And with Ishiro leaving, they probably thought that potentially as the end of Godzilla.
Yeah.
Who knows?
Yeah.
But that's a huge shake-up to the whole system, with no real clear vision of where the future's going to go.
Yeah, and apparently I was doing some reading about this movie, specifically Space Amoeba, and it was burdened by constant pressure from Toho to constantly be minimizing the budget, be filming things faster, be finished with the project a lot faster than they initially intended to. And everyone was just rushed through filming. Honda originally wanted to make this a lot grander and wanted to film on location a lot more, but he wasn't able to because of how Toho handled it. The film was apparently shot in the middle of winter, while everyone was dressed for a tropical location
tropical island,
that no one was happy about. And there's a whole lot of just random stories about this movie. Apparently the producer had to personally be transporting the film negatives back and forth to Toho on a prop plane while they were filming this movie, because they constantly wanted updates on how Space Amoeba's going. Apparently Fumio Tanaka, who was moving the negatives back and forth, was a co-producer and was supposed to be heavily involved with the filming, but actually had to take a step back and leave a lot of the producing to Honda. Honda had to do a lot of the producers' work for this because Fumio Tanaka was busy with a Toho Expo that they had going on. This whole filming of this movie just
weird.
Apparently was just a huge mess, and it ended, and there was a lot of changes within Toho after this. So it's going to be interesting to see what happens.
Sounds like it, yeah.
Well, with all that, let's get into what we thought.
Dude, what did you think of Space Amoeba as a whole?
It's really goofy. The plot is a bit all over the place. Random stuff happened. I still can't get over that wedding that just happens in the middle of nowhere. To be honest, though, I can totally see why this wouldn't work for a lot of people. But I personally quite enjoyed it. It was always quite engaging. I really enjoyed the kaiju, even if their fights were a bit lackluster. But even just the way it was shot, there were a lot of scenes that actually looked really beautiful, whether it be sunset on the island, and the whole shot is just like bleached with this red-orange glow. And it actually looks really, really great. And there were moments of creativity that I really dug from this. Even though majority of everything going on was quite chaotic, there were these moments of genius.
Ooh.
And yeah, I quite enjoyed the cast of characters. A few of them were unnecessary. But all in all, I really liked this just being just a random, wacky, campy sci-fi island adventure. So I'd probably give Space Amoeba 3.5 out of 5 convenient gasoline cans.
There were so many convenient gasoline cans.
What did you think? I'm interested. I mean, this is the movie you started writing in a notebook for.
Yeah, I brought up a notebook for this. Okay, here are my thoughts. So, I feel at this point, watching a few of Toho's movies and coming on this journey, this movie is so full of tropes and themes that we have seen before in the past.
Definitely sticks to the formula, eh?
Yeah. It feels very formulaic. You have going to an island inhabited by natives where there's some kind of god creature that they worship that starts to attack them. There's your mix of sci-fi aliens starting to control the people and the monsters, which we have also seen before. To me, it feels like they're just rehashing it a bit. And I don't know whether that's just Toho at the time, like you said, trying to stick to formula, churn out another movie. So I do feel like this movie is very samey, especially compared to what we've seen in the past. If you saw it on its own, it might be a little different. And while I don't think that there is too much creativity in the movie, I think that the people who took part in the making of this movie did a lot with what they had.
Yeah.
Like the script and the characters, there isn't much there, but even so, the actors give a really compelling performance.
Mm.
You know, we've seen natives and tribes before. However, here there are some really cool scenes done by the cinematographers, like that one where you see Gazora just towering over the leader of this tribe, praying that he doesn't harm them. A few underwater scenes. There's one in here where Gazora is like attacking these two humans underwater, where they're trying to struggle and have a fight with them, which we haven't really seen before.
Mm.
We've seen kaiju fights before, and while a few of these kaiju are similar to what we've seen in the past, they do some new stuff with it. They have a new turtle kaiju. They have fights against the humans where stuff like gasoline and rifles actually do take part in harming and defeating the creature.
Mm.
Like, I do love parts of this movie, but I do feel like Toho needs to spice things up a little bit going forward. And who knows, I haven't seen a lot of the other Toho movies, especially ones that Ishiro has directed. They could be the same. I'm going to give this one 2 convenient bottles of gasoline.
True.
Yeah.
No, I completely get you. I don't know whether or not it's just like I've really warmed up to a lot of these tropes or elements in the Toho formula. Like, even at the end of this movie when the doctor was talking about the strength of the human soul, I was like really feeling it. I was like, man, this is a really good message.
And I do appreciate those scenes. Like, I do love what they did with parts of this. Camebus, I love Camebus for some reason.
Yeah.
I just feel like it's getting to the point where it feels a bit... Wrong's not quite the word, but I'm going to use it. Wrong for Toho to just keep making movies like this when they can start to spice things up and mix up the formula.
Yeah.
And it seems like they're not doing that for some reason. And I really want to see them push past that little barrier.
Well, I mean, Ashiro Honda's gone now, only returning once more, so we are going to see more directors.
I don't want to say this, maybe Ishiro was holding them back.
I mean, let's be honest, a lot of Ishiro's movies are the ones that follow that same formula.
Yeah.
And although he does try and put different themes and messages throughout, they are the ones that feel very similar. Whereas when we get like the director Jun Fukuda, who did Ibra and Son of Godzilla, they feel distinctly different.
Yeah.
So I am looking forward to some different filmmakers'
yeah.
takes on this. So it'll be interesting to watch.
Yeah, I'm looking forward.
We do have some messages from you guys about what you thought of the movie. So let's get into those. David emailed us and he said, I had not seen this movie until watching it for the Podzilla review, and my brain honestly feels numb now after having done so. It takes a lot for me to think a kaiju film was bad, but somehow this one pulled it off.
Ooh.
Part of the problem is that this film was incredibly cheap, with substandard special effects even by the standards of the era, and with very bad writing and acting. Other kaiju films have had these problems, but not to this extent. But that would all be okay if the film didn't take itself so seriously. If this ridiculous movie could at least laugh at itself, there'd be something worth watching it again for. As it is, it's a pretty forgettable one and done. I had hoped I could at least enjoy the monster scenes, and they really go out of their way to build up the monsters as scary. Gazora looks so ridiculous that it kills any chance of that being the case. Ganymedes is not much better. The one kaiju I enjoyed here was Amoeba.
Yeah.
But his fight with Ganymedes was just a bunch of clumsy flopping around.
It was pretty lackluster, eh?
Yeah. David says, in the end, I can say I'm glad I've seen this movie for the sake of seeing all the old Toho monster movies, but I honestly don't have any desire to see it again after this. Maybe that feeling will change with a bit of time, but I wouldn't bet on it. And interestingly enough, after a bit of time, a couple days later, David sent a follow-up email.
Oh, an epilogue.
Yeah, and David says, I really sat with this one a while after my first comments and tried to figure out what seemed to go wrong with this movie. It has a lot of great actors and many of the original Toho Kaiju movie team working on it, but it's really far from their best work, and by a long way. The only thing I can figure is that everyone who was working on this at the time was tired. This was the end of an era for long-time Toho actors and movie makers. The studio system they had been contracted through was being busted up in response to the bad economic times. Tsuburaya had died, and Toho execs had unbelievably refused to dedicate this film to him in his memory. And I have to imagine that everyone working on it had to be totally exhausted and done, and that is why this movie doesn't seem to have gotten the care and attention to detail that past movies had. That was David's thoughts.
Those thoughts really echo with me.
Yeah. I mean, it does add a lot to it when you do realize what they must have been dealing with at the time, and especially hearing with the rush production. It's kind of impressive that it did come out the way it did and not much worse.
Because I think I didn't really realize this, but most of the people working on this movie would have known that it's probably nearing the end of their time.
Yeah, I mean, they probably knew we can't keep doing this forever.
Yeah.
Right? Yeah, interesting.
Another review from Kiev. He says the opening credits of this movie could be its own 5-star feature. As for the rest, it opens strong, but as we've learned on this journey, it can be hard to sustain even 80-ish minutes of a human story when the kaiju look this amazing. Come on. That said though, props to the team for trying with that hotel storyline, even if the rest is painfully familiar. Shout out to the guy who kept his entire suit with fedora on the entire trip to the island. Loved the amazing creature trio. Let's see Manila stand up to Camebus. Ooh. Nice.
Yeah, he's completely right about the dude who was there with the fedora and the suit the whole time. I couldn't believe it. We also have a couple of voicemails. If you want to send us in something, you can email us at podzillapod@gmail.com with an attachment, or just click the link in the show notes. But here's a message from Brucker.
What's up, Jay and Micah? This is Brucker, and my question for you two regarding Space Amoeba is that if this movie were to be remade today, who would you pick as the director for it? Who is it that you would trust to capture the original feel and like true sort of message and intent and tone of this movie here from the 70s? Interested to hear your thoughts. And also, I've been really enjoying the Patreon. You guys keep up the good work. Bye.
Oh man, thanks, Brucker. Appreciate that, dude. What a question.
I like this a lot. I'm curious to hear your answer.
Do you have anyone that pops off the top of your head for a Space Amoeba remake?
I actually do.
Yeah. I wonder if it's the same person.
Same people.
Oh, okay, no.
You know who I'd hit up for this?
What?
I'd hit up the Duffer Brothers.
True. They Duffer Brothers who did Stranger Things.
Stranger Things.
True.
I feel like, I don't know if you'd keep the same 4 trio, but I think you could have a real cool storyline that they could pull off well, having first off the Space Amoeba disguised as a human person. Maybe not even let the audience know who it is at first, have it become a real mystery. But seeing what they've done and how well they've woven the story of the humans and the monsters, whether that be the Demogorg and the Demodogs, so many things we've seen in the past.
Yeah.
I think they're gearing up for no, they have done kaiju before.
Yeah, we had the Mind Flayer,
with the huge Mind Flayer. They could handle 3 separate giant kaiju entities and really weave a great story.
I like it. I really like it. Wow, yeah, that's a good idea. My answer wasn't as thought out as yours, but I just thought of someone like Wes Anderson.
Oh, Wes Anderson.
Wes Anderson.
He did.
Who's done Moonrise Kingdom, Fantastic Mr. Fox, more recently The French Dispatch.
What was the hotel? You know the hotel.
The Grand Budapest
The
Hotel.
Grand Budapest Hotel.
Yeah, but I'm thinking more specifically like, I don't know if you've seen The Aquatic Life with Steve Zissou.
I have not.
I really love The Aquatic Life that Wes did. And it's got a lot of these same like island adventure, colourful feel. And I'd really just like to see how creatively he'd take on kind of a kaiju. I don't know, but I think he'll do the human stuff and the island stuff really, really well and in a really funny way.
It'd give it a little bit of character, wouldn't it?
Yeah, I'd really love to see him take on a film like this.
I can already see that shot where the leader of the tribe is looking up at Gazora.
Yeah.
But have that done by Wes Anderson.
Just some like real quirky music while they're both looking at each other. Yeah.
I'd dig that. That would make this movie unique enough to be really different from anything else.
Oh man, thanks for the question, Brucker. And yeah, I mean, thanks for shouting out the Patreon. We do, as we said before, have Son of Kong out next week if you want to listen to that.
Sadly not directed by Wes Anderson.
No, sadly. We'll see how that one goes. And we've got one more voicemail here from Waffles.
Sup lads, Waffles back with another kaiju review. So, Space Amoeba. That was a movie you made me watch, and for the most part, I had fun with it. It's not a bad use of one's time. I will say off the bat, monsters were cool. I did like them. They were fun when they were on screen, and when they weren't on screen, I was having a very classic problem of when are the monsters going to come back on screen? And I guess this does finally answer the question of what would happen if you put Batman in a kaiju film, because apparently bats and porpoises are just, stronger than kaiju. So that's good to know. If ever a kaiju shows up in my home city, I will find some bats or porpoises and defeat them that way. So that's going to be fun. Yeah, the humans in this film felt like they should have been in another film. They were trying, and whatever that other film was, it would have been a good film, but it certainly didn't really mesh with it being a kaiju film. Boy, was this film it's hard to review because the film doesn't know what it wants to be. And so that's my review of this film. I'd say it's one giant squid, a giant turtle, and a giant crab out of kaiju. That's my review. I'm looking forward to seeing you guys break this film down because it's going to be an interesting episode. But apart from that, that's all I gotta say. So see you guys later. Bye.
I think Waffles hits the nail right on the head there, because there is that hotel storyline, which they just throw out the window and forget about.
Yeah, I mean, as soon as the spy kind of like admits, I was here to steal hotel plans, like halfway through the movie, it's just completely dropped.
You could make a totally separate cool movie about people actually trying to establish a hotel on a kaiju-infested island.
Yeah.
This movie doesn't go in that direction.
No, not at all. Yeah. You're completely spot on, Waffles. This just feels like a whole lot of things jumbled together. The majority of which I really liked, but I can see how it really doesn't work for a lot of other people.
Like, show this to any non-retro movie, non-kaiju fan.
Yeah.
This must seem so weird.
Yeah, 100%. Waffles as well just kicked off
kind of phase 2, version 2 of the podcast.
Yeah, he kind of rebranded. He rebranded his podcast, which is now called Waffles and Mates Talk About Things. And you might hear a couple of familiar voices in the latest episode where me and Micah got to play a few roles. So check out Waffles and Mates Talk About Things. I'll chuck the link in the show notes. This episode has gone on for a long time. Thank you guys for sitting with us. How did we talk about Space Amoeba out of all movies for this long?
Let's get off Sergio Island, man.
Let's leave. Let's leave the island. Let's go somewhere else. And we've got a really, 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 really fun movie to get back to next time.
Oh my gosh.
With a really, really fun guest. Now, you heard Kev's review before, and we're getting him on the show next episode. Kev from Austin Danger Podcast, from Ammonite Movie Night. He is jumping on with us next episode to talk about Godzilla versus Hedorah.
Yes.
This is a big one. I mean, Hedorah, the giant smog monster, is one of the most recognizable Godzilla villains. And I think this movie is a bit of an artsy movie. New director.
Wes Anderson?
Yeah. Directed by Wes Anderson. No, directed by Yoshimitsu Bano. But what do we have to look forward to?
An ever-evolving alien lifeform arrives on a comet from the dark gaseous nebula and proceeds to consume pollution. Spewing mists of sulfuric acid and corrosive sludge, neither humanity nor Godzilla may be able to defeat this toxic menace. This sounds good. Now, and we have seen some references to like smog and pollution being the real enemy before.
Yeah.
Most recently in All Monsters Attack.
Yeah, you're right. Now it is actually the real villain. This is going to be a fun one. We can't wait to talk about this in a bye week with you guys. But that's all for Podzilla. That's us.
Yeah, play us out, Jasha. Hit us with that techno theme from the start of this movie.
Okay, let's go. That's been Podzilla with your hosts, Jasha
and Micah Drake. Follow along on our socials at PodzillAPod and jump into our Discord via the link in the show notes.
Huge thank you to Cassie Celine, who did our podcast art, and Dagora9898, who did our episode thumbnail.
Let's go. And just a disclaimer that any musical sound effects used in this episode belong entirely to the Toho Company. See you guys next episode.